it's time to go over some of the finer details.
Snake Eyes was released on August 7th, 1998, with a budget of $73 million, which seems like a lot for a film that was shot in one location. Whatever. That's a lot of money. I mean, I'm guessing a lot of it went to the actors and probably to Brian De Palma himself.
Did they actually film it in a stadium/hotel, or did they build sets? Or because it seems like
they built a lot of sets, like that. All of the hotel room shot where it like flies over the top. Like they built all of those hotel rooms. I believe it was all shot. I don't want to mention his name, but it was shot at the Taj Mahal. Who was there was a guy who owned it at one point. Who I don't ever want to say his name on our podcast ever, but surprised he's not in it at some point. So he can muscle his way into every movie that he made. Surprisingly, though, this movie did gross $103.9 million, which is not like a, box office, it didn't do great. It barely made back its budget and probably the marketing budget. But still on paper made a profit. This was directed, of course, by the great Brian De Palma, who, among his many credits, Scarface, The Untouchables. He did the original Carrie. He did the first Mission Impossible movie before John Woo came in and really saved the franchise. Did Carlito's Way, Casualties of War. I don't know if you remember that movie with Sean Penn and Michael J. Fox in Vietnam. The Black Dahlia, etc., etc. His films have been nominated for 9 Academy Awards, but the only win he's gotten was when Sean Connery won for Best Supporting Actor in The Untouchables, which is kind of surprising that Brian De Palma has never won an Oscar.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird that Sean Connery won one. I mean,
Sean Connery's great.
I love Sean Connery,
man.
but I don't know. He just always feels like he's Sean Connery. It's like
he's pretty much.
It's like
Sean
Harrison
Connery
Ford, you always know what you're getting with it with every single movie, and Tommy Lee Jones and stuff.
I found out while I was doing research that Brian De Palma actually was a physics student at Columbia before switching to film, which is kind of crazy. What a career change. I mean, I guess, he switched in college. He just realized they didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I guess he didn't go. He wasn't like what's his name from Queen, where he's like written actual papers for astrophysicists and shit. Written by David Coep, who has worked a ton with De Palma, also Steven Spielberg, such as adapting Michael Crichton's book into the original screenplays for Jurassic Park 1 and 2, and apparently wrote the new Jurassic World movie that's coming out with Scarlett Johansson, which makes me not as terrified to see it, because those last 3 were fucking dumpster fires.
Yeah.
But all somehow made $1 billion each. I don't know.
I mean, bringing back the original writer, it's not always a recipe for success.
No. He's had a pretty clunky.
Hollywood's a lot different now than it was when he was working with Spielberg.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also,
that new one's directed by Gareth Edwards, who's kind of spotty. Like, his visuals are good. He does certain things well, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Godzilla is not that great. The parts of Rogue One that weren't reshot, I don't think are that great.
Ouch.
As much as I love that movie.
R.I.P. Hawaiian guy.
He also is responsible for the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds film, which I actually really enjoyed. And then easily the best 2 Indiana Jones films, Crystal Skulls and Dial of Destiny. So as you can see, like, his trajectory after a certain point, not so great. So not saying Jurassic World 5 or whatever the fuck it is at this point is going to be good. I don't think anything can save that franchise at this point.
Jurassic World.
Keep beating that
Jurassic
horse.
World 4, Jurassic Park 6.
8, what? 7, because there were 3 original.
3
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
7.
and then
Sorry.
3 worlds.
Yep.
Everybody forgets that third one. Also wrote Mission Impossible, Carlito's Way, Panic Room, that Fincher movie with Jared Leto.
Jodie Foster.
Yeah. And then the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and tons of other things. He's got a huge laundry list of films that he's worked on. Some good, some not so good. Ugh. Just take away his SAG card for Crystal Skulls. Just that movie alone. Like, I'm not saying Dial of Destiny was much better, but
I haven't seen that, but I've heard it's heard it can be good depending on what you want out of it.
Yeah,
I know some people who really like it.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen it, and I generally align with these people's movie preferences, at least when it comes to like Star Wars and stuff. So I would probably enjoy it. I just haven't watched it yet.
It's okay.
I don't have time to watch movies that aren't Nicolas Cage anymore.
Yeah, me too. Somebody asked me, like, they were asking me about some TV show or something, and I think it was Severance. They were like, have you watched Severance yet? And I'm like, all I have time for is like work, the podcast, and then rewatching The Office and Always Sunny in Philadelphia on repeat, just so that I can clear my head. And that's pretty much all I got time for these days. This was shot by Stephen H. Burham, who has worked with Francis Ford Coppola back on The Outsiders and Rumblefish. So we'll be talking about him multiple times. Also, I did not know that Nick Cage was in The Outsiders until very recently. He plays like Soch number 8 or something like that. He's like an extra. So we're going to very briefly talk about him in an episode. Also did 8 Brian De Palma films, most of the ones that I already mentioned. And then St. Elmo's Fire, The War of the Roses with Danny DeVito's. That was Danny DeVito directed that film. Mm-hmm. And then Mystery Men, which I feel like is still a hidden gem.
I love that movie. Ben
Stiller, Janine Garofalo, Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman, yeah.
Pee Wee Herman.
Or Paul Rubens, whatever.
Not Pee Wee.
He was nominated for an Oscar for Hoffa with Jack Nicholson, which I hated that movie, but I didn't realize that movie was actually directed by Danny DeVito as well. So
was it really? Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was nominated for Best Picture or something like that too. I didn't know that Danny DeVito's directing credits were quite as powerful as they are. Like that guy's he's done everything you can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like one of those guys that just enjoys the work.
Yeah.
Enjoys the industry.
He's like almost 80 at this point, or is he 80? And he's
still
working every freaking day.
Working. Yeah.
Yep.
Edited by Bill Pankow, who has edited 13 films for Brian De Palma, but also edited The Comfort of Strangers with our old pal Paul Schrader. and a bunch of like really schlocky 90s films, like I guess 90s and recent films like Money Train, Double Team. Remember that movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman?
Nope. God, no.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. Really worth a watch, man. And then Let's Be Cops, which is more recent.
Yeah.
How do you go from Brian De Palma to Double Team? So weird. Got to make money. I don't know.
Yeah. Paycheck's a paycheck, dude.
Yeah, it's true. And then the music was by Ryuichi Sakamoto, who is a Japanese composer / musician who won an Oscar for his score in The Last Emperor in 1987. Also did the score for The Revenant semi-recently. And I saw he composed the music for the opening ceremonies for the Barcelona 1992 Olympics. He just recently passed in 2023. Like, he was a pretty prolific musician. He didn't score a ton of things that I had seen before. Those were the ones that I pointed out, like The Revenant and Last Emperor and a couple other things, but mostly a musician. I thought for sure I was going to see a through line with Brian De Palma and this guy when I was doing the research, because the Untouchables soundtrack is very similar, but now it's to a completely different person. This kind of like horn music. Brian De Palma really seems to like that and gravitates towards this orchestral, like big band horn music for some reason. I mean, I guess it's powerful, but it just does not fit the tone of this film. I didn't think.
No, it does not.
It's very like
90s.
Yeah, and it's really over the top at points. Like like I pointed out in the breakdown at Act 3 when Gary Sinise is like, spoilers, he's got his gun drawn on somebody we won't mention, and the music is so fucking loud that you can't even hear what he's saying.
Yeah, you can't hear. Yeah, you can't hear.
Like, what the hell, dude? Calm down. It's not that epic.
I think maybe that's the compensation, is like trying to overcompensate to make it seem a lot more epic than how they shot it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was jarring.
There's so many things in this movie where it's just kind of like, this is much more boring than I think it meant to be. We're really going to watch him watch the security footage for 15 minutes here. Ratings. This has a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not great for a Brian De Palma film. 5.3 out of 10. Yeah, it's pretty low. Only 70 reviews. You know, again, we've talked about it many times, but they kind of have to go back to the reviews in the 90s and extrapolate out what the critics meant and stuff. So kind of subjective, but 41%. It's pretty harsh. The audience score, 35%. Which is,
again, that's lower than I would have expected.
Really bad. Yeah, that's really harsh.
Was it sold as like an action movie, maybe?
I remember
I never
being
watched
kind
the
of
trailer
sold as like a fun action comedy, almost. Like, almost felt like it was supposed to be funny.
Okay.
At least that's what I remember, because they used a lot of the opening with Cage going over the top and doing wacky stuff.
I wondered about that because I hadn't seen or heard anything about this movie, surprisingly. And there was a trailer on the DVD, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to watch the trailer. I'm just going to go in blind and watch it. And I enjoyed it. But I wonder if it's because it didn't have like those kind of, I wondered how it was sold at the time and what people were expecting out of it, considering what Nick Cage had been doing recently and stuff. And I guess what Brian De Palma had done too. So I can see how it could be a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking for.
I could see it being sold as like Die Hard at a boxing match or something like that. But but definitely isn't that.
You get is like some weird old Hollywood style haunted or murder in a mansion mystery type of thing.
Yep. 100%. It's really, what is that, the train movie?
Murder on the Orient Express?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but at a boxing match. And that's probably what Brian De Palma was going for.
I felt like it, that or the old Hitchcock, some Hitchcock murder mystery or something like that.
Yeah.
Bunch of people arrive at a house and get stuck in a storm, and then somebody gets murdered and they have to solve it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely what it was. The Metacritic score was a 52%, which kind of aligns with Rotten Tomatoes. Letterboxd, I always kind of like, what? 3.4 out of 5. So the Rotten Tomatoes audience score is 35%. This is like a 6.8 out of 10 if you think about it. Okay, so I guess a lot of people are like nostalgic about it. Like,
and I think it's Letterboxd. Like, if you're going out of your way to review Snake Eyes, it's because you're probably a fan of Robert De Palma or Nick Cage or something, or just movies in general. So you're probably going to give it a higher score.
Yeah, I guess. IMDb, same thing, 6.1 out of 10, which feels high. Yeah, those two scores do not align with the other three scores at all. And then the cinema score was a C+, which is really bad. And kind of goes back to Nigel's point of like, I think it was sold as something completely different than what it actually is. Maybe that was the studio like trying to spin it to make it profitable. It really is like, it's just like a murder mystery, but I seem to remember it was being sold as kind of a fun action movie, which I mean, sure, sometimes maybe. I don't know.
The worst parts of it are
the worst parts of it.